Okay, this is going to be our second review lesson. Our first review lesson dealt with verbs and tenses. In this lesson, we're going to just review the cases. We're going to look at nouns again. The two cases we're especially interested in are the nominative and the accusative. So we've learned three cases. We learned nominative, dative, and accusative. We know that in Latin, nominatives indicate the subject of a sentence, and accusatives indicate direct objects. Dative is going to be indirect objects. We're not going to see too much of the dative in this lesson. We'll see more of it later. And then we know that we divide these into declensions. So the first declension tends to be mostly feminine and uses a and I for the nominative, uses and as for the accusative. Second declension, especially second declension masculine, uses us and e for nominative, uses and os for the accusative. And then third declensions, remember there's no set form that for all the nominative singulars in third declension, but the plurals are always ace. And then it uses and ace for the accusative, for the direct objects. So you probably remember that. Might be good to review that. There's a chart in the back of your book. So for doing the worksheets, let's just have a look at that. The first worksheet is just going to ask you to identify the cases of these words and then also do the tense of the verbs. So they did number one for you. Let's do number two together just to review how this works. So it says Dominus seros vituperavit. So Dominus, we can see this is a nominative singular. You can abbreviate it as S. Then I look at servos. You remember from that chart that os is an accusative, so this is an accusative plural. And vituperavit, we can see that V is probably a telltale sign. We're dealing with a perfect, so we're going to call this a perfect, and then we'll translate it as the master chastises or punishes the slaves. Let's do number three. Puellae matrem vocant. So puellae, this is the subject of the sentence. It's a nominative plural. We'll identify it that way. Matrem, that em tells me it's accusative. This is an accusative singular. And then vocant, I don't see a BA in here, so it's not imperfect. I don't see a V, so it's probably, or a V in the ending, so it's probably not perfect, and sure enough, this is a present tense. And we can translate this. The girls call the mother, probably their mother is how I would do this. Quatuor, mercator naves habuit. So mercator, this is a nominative singular. Naves, the es ending is third declension, right? So it's third declension accusative plural. Habuit, and that u is a sign, this is probably a perfect. So mercator naves habuit, you can translate that for me. And then the other worksheet to do just is reminding us about word order. Word order, again, not terribly important in Latin, although usually the subject often comes first. The first word is often something that wants to be emphasized in the sentence. So we're going to identify nominative, dative, and accusative. We're going to put subordinate clauses in brackets and prepositional phrases in parentheses. We're going to underline the verbs here. So they did the first one for us here. Let's do number two. Metella filio donum amet. So metella, that's right, here's my verb, is amet. Let's just underline that right away. Metella is a nominative. I can see the direct object is donum, and then filio is an indirect object, that's the dative. So we can translate that. Metella bought a gift, here's my dative, for her son. Trio, grumio hospiti canam parabat. So once again, let's do the verb is the easy thing to do. Let's underline that verb right away. Grumio, this is a name, so this is going to be my subject, nominative. My direct object, which you can often find because it ends in M or S. Here's Kanam, and then hospiti is the dative. So now we can translate it. Grumio prepared or was preparing dinner for the guest or for his guest. Quatuor. Kiwis. Postquam thermas intravit athletas conspexit. So let's find some verbs here. Conspexit is my verb here. Kiwis is my subject. So I have the citizens, the citizen saw. Athletas is my direct object. I can see that this postquam, this is a subordinate clause. So I'm going to put this in brackets like this. So far I have the citizen noticed or caught sight of the athletes. And then I have my subordinate clause in here. There's the verb for it, intravit, and this is an accusative. So now I can translate it. The citizen, after he entered the thermos, the baths, noticed the athletes. So let's do this next one. Quinque. Mici quod erant ignavi umbram timebant. So here I underline the verb. That one's easy to do. And so let's do my subject is amici. Let's mark that as nominative. Let's find my direct object. It's umbram. Let's mark that accusative. And now we can see, oh yeah, I got a subordinate clause here. We're going to put that into brackets for me. So, and then you can see ignavi, that's a nominative. That's going to act like an adjective to describe amici. So, the friends, because they were ignavi, remember this means, it always looks like ignorant, but remember ignavi means cowardly, cowards. The friends, because they were cowards, were fearing the shadow, or were afraid of. Good. Imperfect there, remember that means the action's not complete. They fear and they continue to fear the shadow, or maybe their shadow. So, okay, for next time you can complete those activities for me and submit them.